welcome back to my channel. I'm Angèle Cristina, a relationship and empowerment coach. And today we're going to look at some posts on Reddit that answer the question, who should get the check? Are you ready? First post. First date ever, bill. Okay, so here bill and check are transferable words because of British and American. Hey guys, I'm going out with this girl at a pretty fancy restaurant. And I don't want to pay the entire bill. Why are you going to a fancy restaurant? Did you choose this? Let's see. It's going to come out to like $350. And that's pretty much half of my income per week, okay? Would it be weird to split it based on what we ordered? For your information, I didn't ask her on the date. She said it would be cool to hang out sometime and I agreed. She picked a restaurant and I picked the time. What should I do? Ooh, first date, $350. I mean, yeah, dollars, euros, pounds, it doesn't matter. I think that's a hefty price for a first date. 100 maybe? And then you split it 50 each. So here, obviously, we're going to delve into, should it be split? Should the person who invited you pay? Should the man pay? If it's two men, who should pay? If it's two women, who should pay? There's going to be a bit of discussion. This is why I'm creating this video, of course, to be able to discuss. So let me know in the comments who you think should pay on a first date. Here he is explaining that she picked the restaurant and he picked the time. Of course, I believe anyone would pick a restaurant which is classier, but I feel that if he is uncomfortable, he should tell her before, so that then it doesn't become an awkward moment when you are on location at that point in time and you feel perhaps obliged to get the bill yourself. But let's see what people said in the comments about this post. Someone has offered a solution. Her, let's go on a dinner date. You, great idea. Her, the Savoy, I've always wanted to go there. You, me too, but I can only afford KFC. Pick restaurant that is nice, but in your price range. But if we go Dutch, I can afford the Savoy. Her, KFC sounds fine. Or, sure, I'm good with that. I love this. I love this. I love this. I'm so happy that someone suggested that one, he actually tells her, and two, there would be a pre-agreement if he prefers to go Dutch so that he is sharing about his available budget, but not making it seem like he's trying to be skimpy. Another comment says, there are literally so many other sit-down restaurants that cost $10 to $20 per entree. Please don't go to KFC, but it's an okay strategy. I agree with this. I think the strategy is really good. I'm not sure a first date at a fast food place would be something that I would have enjoyed, to be honest with you. But this also depends on the ages of the people involved. Another comment says, this is a really good idea. Offer a second option within your price range. And as an option where you can pay for all of it. Yes. Or tell her that you can go to her pick if she's willing to pay for her meal. It gives her two options where she wins. Great thinking. If she denies both, then you know what kind of person she is. I do not disagree with that last part, but I love that she would be given options and then she makes the choice. I think that gives power to the person who suggested that you meet at a restaurant. Another comment says, if you choose KFC, she's probably gonna get sick a few hours before you meet. Or one of her friends will randomly show up in town. I don't disagree with that either. I would not suggest KFC. If you want to go with a low budget option, prepare something yourself and invite her on a picnic at the park, and it's quite free. It will cost you very low and it's romantic, and you do not need to take him or her to a fast food place. And one more comment for this particular post. Bruh, there are so many things that's wrong in your post. However, that's why you have us fellow lovely Redditors to help you out. Oh, we wouldn't live without you. Firstly, you never, and I repeat, never ever go out to a fancy, expensive restaurant on the first date. A first date is getting to know your potential partner and see if there's even a viable connection. If one or both of you determine that there is no real future, at least you aren't spending a bucket load of money. Secondly, okay, fine. She asked you and you agreed. Then she picked the restaurant and you agreed. If that's her selection, I would assume that she expects to split the check, especially if it's an upscale restaurant like that. I actually wouldn't assume anything. I would let them know. If as a guy you have doubts about those thoughts or prefer to pay, but don't want to empty a life savings for 60 to 90 minutes at a restaurant, switch up the plans. You should have and still can suggest something else. Lastly, why would you select that spot to begin with? Is she already pretty established in a nice paying career or what? Because if not, that's a red flag. Okay, wow, I like this comment here. It has many levels. So here he says, never suggest an expensive restaurant for a first date. If you are at a younger age group, you do not need to necessarily impress with going to a fancy restaurant, because in my opinion, then you're going to set a threshold, and perhaps that's what's expected on the second, third, fourth dates. So be careful if you do choose a fancy restaurant. Also, with regards to agreeing, as I mentioned before, if you do not like her suggestion, please do speak up. If you want to split the bill or if you want to suggest something else, I prefer the suggestion of 2 options and then let her choose. And with regards to his last point, if she's established or not, if they don't know each other, perhaps he doesn't know yet. And I think at this point, at a first date, it's still quite irrelevant, and I do not think it is a red flag. Obviously, my opinion here. Next, first date post. What should be the etiquette for first date bill splitting if your date doesn't have a source of earning? Very good question. It includes even if they're living off their parents' money. Let's see what people say in the comments. If I invited someone on a date, then I expect to pay for them. Okay, so if you invite them, you pay for them. Do you agree with this? It is my treat. It doesn't matter whether they are fabulously wealthy or have nothing to their name. For me, if I'm the person who made the invitation, then my intention is for them to be my guest, which means I would pay. I don't totally disagree with this. I feel that if you really want their company, if you want their time, why not pay for them? Perhaps also let them know that this is your invitation and you are invited to this evening or time to spend together, which means that it will be paid for the date who is accompanying you. Another comment says, talk to the person and see how you both want to pay for things, or do something that doesn't cost money. Yep, I did suggest that already, didn't I? Exactly, I would discuss it. I'm sure they would not agree to the date if they couldn't afford it or would suggest something that doesn't cost money. If not, be careful it doesn't become an expectation. Am I predicting the future or what's this? Or am I very good at what I do? You decide. Another comment. Am I the only person that is confused here? Bill splitting on the first date? Who is doing this? If someone asks you out, you should not be paying. This goes both ways, woman and man. Sounds angry. Side rant. Yeah, maybe a rant. I feel like people entertain splitting the bill on first dates to not look like you're using the other person, and I gotta say, I hate it. Please budget for when you go out, or don't call it date if you're worried about being used. If you're splitting the bill, then to me personally, it's not really a date, but more so an outing. Now, if you have talked about splitting the bill on this outing, then I would assume a budget was brought up. This way, nobody is pinching pennies trying to have a good time. I felt the heavy energy from that comment. Okay, so fair enough. This person's opinion is that if they are invited, they do not pay, and the person who invites you should pay. I respect that opinion, not necessarily agree. The splitting the bills, I think it's more of a modern thing, and if they are both students or they agreed upon it, sure, why not? If they're still getting to know each other and it's far too early in the day, sure, why not as well? I also want to mention that sometimes it's part of the culture of the person. So when I went on a couple of first dates, there were people who assumed from their culture, especially not from my country, where they would split the bill normally on a first date. And I've also had dates with people who assume and take over, and it's automatic that they are going to pay the bill. And the last point on this comment is that people abuse. I don't disagree with this. I think some people just pick fancy restaurants because they want to eat lobster, for example, and they want them to pay for them. Sometimes, yes, of course, this is abuse, as with anything. So pre-discussion or giving options, I feel, is the way out here. Just a small reminder to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and ding that bell so you will get notified every time I upload one of these fun, entertaining, and valuable videos full of tips for you. And one more post. First date bill. What is the best way to ask to split the bill with the girl? Very honest, very genuine. I can feel that the person is really asking for some support and guidance here. We're here for you. Comment says, I went out for sushi recently, knew within 10 minutes that I wouldn't see her again. At my fill, all you can eat, told the waitress separate bills. It's that simple. I normally don't go for dinner on the first date. It'll usually be a coffee, beer, or ice cream. But I really wanted sushi. Fair enough. If I'm planning on seeing her again, I'll either take the bill or wait for her to respond. If I'm feeling cheap or I'm low on funds. I feel the honesty of this comment. I like that the person chose sushi because they felt like sushi and that the person knew in the first 10 minutes. I think that's also something that does happen on first dates, that perhaps you have an expectation or you're very nervous and excited, and then you get there and you're like, I'm not going to pay for this because the company is not good enough. But it's always really good to have a pre-discussion. I think I've drilled that point through by now. Another comment gives the exact reply to the question. I am a big supporter of gender equality. So here's your half, and you present them with the bill. You know what? Fair enough. Do not disagree. Give them the power. I feel power is a very, very good little carrot here in a first date. Give the other person the power. Let them decide, even if it's pre-date. But let them decide, and then you see if you agree to it or not. Another comment suggests, had a good time. How about splitting the bill? Yeah, it's not that difficult, right? Just say it. If you think it's awkward, it's gonna become awkward. Be very casual about it and just ask very easily, very bluntly, very honestly. Just be yourself. And if you know that you are a shy person, ask these questions before. If you know you're gonna be worked up or nervous, pre-plan that. I'd rather agree on splitting the bill and then you're really enjoying that person's company and say, you know what? I can get this, thank you anyway. But if you are in an awkward position and you don't think you're gonna find the words to tell them, then agree on it before. It's easier for everyone. And there you have it, a couple of opinions, comments, and questions regarding who should get the check and who should pay the bill on a first date. What gender, which party should you split, should you tell them before, who should choose the restaurant, and all the charade. I'm really, really happy to have shared this with you, and do share your opinion in the comment section. Just a small reminder to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and ding that bell so you will get notified every time I upload one of these videos. Before we go, my Maltese word for the day is bill or check. Cont. Cont. Do you have a word for bill or check in your language? Of course you do. Just write it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, you do you, because no one else matters.